Good day. Welcome back to my channel. This is the start of a long and somewhat large project that has been sitting in the whiteboard of the brain for a while. And I've had this project sitting in this box for a while. I picked this up several years ago, and it's been sitting simply because I haven't figured out what I wanted to do. I've got a whole bunch of ideas, and I also I hadn't been committed to actually doing the project. As you can see, this is a little small box. We are videoing this way, so I'm hoping that this video actually works out. I haven't normally filmed here this way before, so we're hoping this works. This is for the Call of Cthulhu. I think it's Cthulhu Rising, Death May Die game. All right, so it's a miniatures game, and this is the miniature of Cthulhu himself. So as you can see, it's tiny, absolutely tiny, and the size has been somewhat daunting, and that's actually one of the reasons that I've been waiting on doing this project, is because of what the size of this thing and what I was going to want to do with it. I do have a slight challenge in figuring out where I'm going to put the thing, but I'll jump off that bridge when I get to it. So in order to actually show the unboxing, I'm going to have to do that here. Now, when I actually work on this, the stuff I'm going to be working on, the majority of my stuff I shoot on my workbench, and the background and everything is a little bit nicer, more controlled. This thing's huge, so it's going to be on my messy bench. So you're going to see a lot of clutter and everything in the background. It's the way it is. This is, my workbench is the basement here. And what you see around will just be stuff that I have. But with all that said, let's get into this. The cool thing about this is it's freaking amazing. Okay, so I'm going to put this down and pull this out. Now, the two wings were set in like this. Actually, like this. Yeah, they were basically set in on top here. And we can see the detail on them is just amazing, right? So this leathery look to it. Now, this is a resin, but it's a flexible resin, right? And a lot of big miniatures are done in stuff like this. I like where they have chosen to put their join. So that's one wing. This is the other wing, and this will be the front of it. You can see the detail on there is really nice. So let's go ahead and put the box down and pull out him. Now, I believe there are other unboxings of this, and they're probably much better than this is going to be. Simply because people got better studio options. But you know what? Hey. This guy is huge. So I'm going to go ahead and drop these wings in. I believe they are keyed such that you can only put them in the right way. True. All right, so I'm going to give you a little bit better look to him. I'm going to just pan up just a little. And this lighting is better. And we're up close. So you can see the detail on him, all of the skin, the way the skin's laid out. Interesting thing is, or at least interesting thing for me, is 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of eyes. I have thoughts about that. I mean, if you actually get a look at his face, it's a pretty interesting look. Again, another set of eyes there. We have all these barnacles pustules, whatever you want to call them, all over him. But it's some really, really nice sculpting, right? And this resin is hard, but it's got that flexibility, so it's not fragile. You can see here, these are the join marks, or the join spots for the wings, and they go in. They mesh up with that, and these are going to take some work. This, I am seeing that this one doesn't. I'm assuming that, yeah, because this one here, this one's definitely right. What I'm seeing here, right, is that right there. It's not quite fitting in, and I don't know if it's this. Maybe this just needs to be cleaned out, this here, but something's preventing that from going in, so there's some cleanup there to do. As we look down his back, and we look at all of the way this skin is done, and we'll look at the terrain here in a minute, right? The way the skin is done here is just awesome. So let's turn this around. Now it does have, like I said, we'll talk about the terrain here in a second. His hands. Actually, let me bring this. Actually, let me bring this like this here. And we get a good look at his hands. The detail on it is excellent. There's just, it's got this texture that looks like rough skin. Really well done. You can also see his other hand here on this plinth, or on this whatever it is. And then his feet, sort of elephant-like, just sort of stomps and stalks. Now the terrain, you can see, is it's just a rock, right? So it's this rock. He's up on an upper level, and he's got his hands on these two pillars that look like they've been broken off, but they've got all these arcane markings on them. Now, what I have seen, now here you can see where this was put together, right? So there's that. If we look under here, you can see that this was done. So let me zoom you back a bit. So let's take a look at how it was put together. There, you can see how this is clearly, it was formed under there, and this is probably, you can probably see the attachment points under here where he was attached to the ground. This was attached to the ground. And there's another neat thing. Now this is all assembled, like I said, except for the wings. We can also see here there's a seam running right here underneath this mantle that essentially is the top half of him. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. So that's the miniature. That is the miniature that is what I'm going to work on. So what is the project? What are we going to do with the project? What I would like to do with this is actually do up something of a, I want to do a scene, right? So one of the things I have, one of the goals I have for this is I would like to do a deep water pour, a deep water resin pour. So I would like to have him coming up out of the ocean. Right, so you can see there's these stages here. I think this is meant to be sculpted as water down here, right there. I think this is meant to be sculpted as water and waves. What I think I would like to do, though, is I would like to make all this earth and ground and have all of this, like the water level, actually come up to here. Ideally, a thought I have is have the land come up more. So it would mean basically adding to this and add miniatures of people here. I have seen these done such that the arcane symbols were lit. Right, so all these symbols were actually lit and glowing. There we go. These symbols were all lit and glowing. Thought about doing that, and I may still. One thing I do want to do is these eyes. We'll get up to here. I very much would like to make these eyes glowing. So I would like to put red LEDs in there. Another thing I would like to do is give him atmospheric. So a thought I had was to put on a mist thrower. So like one of the like small model train smoke generators down near the bottom here, where when I turn it on, the mist kind of comes up and goes over the water. These are all ideas. I don't know if I want to bother lighting this. I might. I think it would be kind of cool if all of these cracks, if this was all glowing, if the whole thing was glowing from the inside. But the one thing that really stuck with me that I wanted to do, and honestly, one of the reasons I've not touched this is I really wanted to make the eyes glow, and I really want to do the deep resin pour. Doing the eyes, that I've done electronics all the time. The resin pour, I just don't know what to do, and I've never done one. So we're going to learn. And by we, I mean me. I think most of you who are watching this probably have seen somebody else do it. So it's like, hey, Moran, go watch the guy on the YouTube. There's a guy that does them all the time. There's a lot of people out there that do that. So I'm going to learn from those. We're going to try it. The other thing I need to do, obviously, is fill in all the gaps and the seams. And I would like to make this thing look as realistic and crazy as possible. What I will have to do to get to the eye is I want to cut this guy out along that seam. So that seam should be available. What I'm also going to need to do is crack into this base so that I can run cabling and wiring up to it. But that is the Cthulhu Death May Die miniature, and that's the project. And you can see there's some cleanup here I want to do around those too. Unless I do like water dripping. So there's a lot that we could do with this, right? There's a whole lot, and we're not even talking doing the painting. What kind of paint scheme I'm going to do? What do we want to make his skin look like? I've seen him done up in like green Nurgle. I've seen him done up in purple blues. I'd like to do something unearthly, so something unexpected. There's like the demon reds or the Nurgle greens you kind of expect. I'd like to think about some other colors that might make this look weird. Because the whole point of Cthulhu, right? The whole mythos is your brain really can't comprehend what the old one was. So, it's something to think about. So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started on this project. Expect the videos for this to be over time. This is going to take a while. So I don't know that this is going to be something that I will do. I'm pretty sure this is going to sit on one of these several workbenches and will be done in pieces. So keep an eye out. I will put a playlist out for it so that we can follow along on that. And then I'll start sketching and coming up with ideas on how I want to do it. So with that said, until next time, I hope this was useful, entertaining, or, at least entertaining. And let's get cracked in. So thank you very much. Happy modeling.